Trudeau's on his way out. It's unfortunate that this wasn't happening 6 weeks from now, when we would have had a new government in Canada potentially. However, it is what it is. And you ask me, is there a chance? Absolutely. Trump is a negotiator. Everybody's talked about that. If he gets what he wants between now and midnight, this whole thing goes away, and then we can talk about the economic union again.
Tensions are still extremely high between Canada and America, especially when it comes to talking about oil. President Trump is deciding to put a 10% tariff on Canadian oil effective, I think it was like February 14th or February 18th, something like that. But this is where it gets really tricky. Canada has been locked into what will be a bad deal for us Canadians to only pretty much exclusively sell our oil for a cheaper subsidized rate to America. For years. This is something that I don't even know if it was a conservative government way back in the day or probably the liberal government that signed this, locked in this deal. And we haven't really been able to sell our oil to other countries overseas. But that could change. I mean, if this tariff war continues, if the trade war continues, if tensions stay high, Canada, specifically Alberta, has so much oil and gas. It's some of the cleanest around the entire world. And if America wants to continue this war, this pissing contest, then Canada will have no other choice but to sell oil to other countries, such as Japan. Japan has expressed interest in our energy, and they're willing to pay double the price. That's insane for Canada not to even consider that. So we're taking a look at Kevin O'Leary going on Fox Business, where he discusses current tensions and our oil and gas. Welcome back to the channel, the extra channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage y'all to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Let's get this channel over that hump of 30,000 subscribers. It would really mean a lot to me. And without further ado, let's get right into it.
Trump says Canada should join the US as the 51st state. Do that and you avoid all tariffs. Kevin O'Leary joins me now. Come on in, Kevin. That doesn't seem like a realistic proposal to me. So how do we actually win this trade war? And tell me, what does winning look like?
So this is not the first time Trump has talked about buying Canada, and Canadian people do not want to sell their sovereignty. That's been tested and polled now for a couple of months since it first came out. But what has happened remarkably, and this is very interesting, the more this narrative continued about the potential of an economic union around energy and making something so large that China would never catch up to it, then there was a lot of interest amongst Canadian people. In fact, it polled up to 43% of Canadians wanting to know more. So as always with Trump, you've got to distinguish the signal from the noise. But also the very fact that this economy is unique. 17 of the U.S. states, their number one trading partner is Canada, and Alberta has 5 times more energy and gas and oil than the entire United States. There is some opportunity here. It's not crazy, and people want to understand more.
Is there any possibility that negotiation would take care of this in the short term? We've already heard that President Trump has spoken with Trudeau once this morning and will speak again at 3 o'clock this afternoon. There's scheduling calls with the leader of Mexico. Is there a possibility here that there could be a negotiated settlement relatively quickly?
Yes, it's unfortunate it's Trudeau, because he's been calling Trump all weekend, not getting his call returned just till now, because these two have a bad relationship from the very first
very
term.
bad.
And along with Freeland, who negotiated NAFTA too, she was the finance minister, just quit. Trudeau's on his way out. It's unfortunate that this wasn't happening 6 weeks from now, when we would have had a new government in Canada potentially. However, it is what it is. And you ask me, is there a chance? Absolutely. Trump is a negotiator. Everybody's talked about that. If he gets what he wants between now and midnight, this whole thing goes away, and then we can talk about the economic union again. Obviously, there's a lot of angst on both sides of the border, because this trading partnership is massive. It's massive. And so figuring out what the long-term implications are is almost impossible. But I don't think there will be long-term. I think this thing gets worked out quickly, if not today, quickly. And then we move on to trying to look at the opportunity of a behemoth economy.
don't actually agree with it being settled quickly. Justin Trudeau and Canadian politicians, there's something wrong with them. They are so egotistical. They feel this need to stand up to Trump and do the opposite of what he's saying, just for the sake of doing the opposite. The things that have been asked by Trump is fix your border and stop your fentanyl from coming in. It was just found that there was a super duper drug bust, a super den, okay, whatever the hell it's called, a super den of fentanyl in just British Columbia on the West Coast, one province. And it had so much fentanyl that it could kill 95 million people. That's insane. That's almost a third of America. That's more than double the population of Canada in one province. How the hell did that even happen? So people are saying, oh, it's not that big of a fentanyl problem. Well, only 19 kilograms has been found at the border that's been seized by American officials at the border. We don't know how much has made it across. And also, we shouldn't have nearly that amount circulating Canada anyways. So I don't think this is something that gets figured out right away. If Trudeau backs down, the Liberals are going to lose everything that they stand for because they're backing down. If Trudeau backs down, they've lost the election. They've lost confidence in Liberal voters and Liberal supporters for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So they've pinned themselves in a corner where they are so egotistical. They have no option, self-inflicted no option other than to stand up to Trump for the sake of standing up to Trump. It's so insane. We're not bending over by doing the things that Trump asks us to do. We're literally fixing our country, which we should be doing anyways.
Where there's no tariffs, north, south, east, or west. That would be interesting.
Got it. One more for you. A new poll from the New York Times. It says most voters do not believe the economy is important to Democrats. We have yet to get a real Democrat response to the tariffs. Where is their leadership on the economy?
I felt from the election night, when it occurred, that it was a good thing that happened to the Democrats in this sense, Stuart. They should reboot. They really have to get rid of the old guard, the Pelosi and the Obama and movie stars like Clooney, deciding who should be anointed in leadership. That last candidate was a disaster. Everybody knows that. It's true. So run a process, start anew. The new leadership in the Democratic Party is an unknown man or woman we've never heard of, probably. And that's a good thing for them. They've gone so far off the tracks that nobody wants to vote for them, including Democrats don't want to vote for them. So at the end of the day, it's reboot time, and they have to really look inwards and say, what does it mean to be a Democrat? It used to be the party of the people. Somehow, some way, Trump stole that from them. And America fixed itself in this election. It went back to more common sense policies, and here we are.
Kevin O'Leary, always a pleasure. Come back and see us soon, please, Kevin. We've got lots of stuff for you. See you later.
Something definitely needs to be figured out because this is not optimal for Canada and American relations. I think that our countries need to come together. Justin Trudeau should not be the one negotiating. He's a horrible, horrible negotiator. The dude's committed to resigning. There should have been an election a long time ago. And unfortunately, Trump is now dealing with a weasel, like a literal rat. And this is probably why Canada is going to get a bad deal until there's an election. But that's my opinion. That's the video. I'd love to know yours as we wrap this up. If you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys to hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye for now.